So a lot of videos will explain the entire build process and then they'll show you how it works. And when you get to the end, you find yourself dissatisfied with the performance. So I'm going to do this video the other way around. I'm going to show you the performance first. If you decide you like the performance, then you can watch the rest of the video. If you decide you don't like the performance, don't watch the rest. Find the next video. All right, I'm going to make some cuts and then I'll check the amount of sawdust remaining on the saw. Okay, so I made 3 cuts into a 2x4 with my dust collection hooked up. You can see the front of the saw. It's very clean. No dust really shoots out from the saw. You know, usually my sleeves would be covered with dust. They're pretty clean. The top, as I said, you can see a little dust here. Nothing dramatic, but a little bit of dust on the top. And again, that's just getting kicked up from the blade and then it falls right back down. Looking in the back side, you know, very clean on the back. You know, again, back here, little dust kicks up. I vacuumed this up before I made those 3 cuts, so a little bit of dust falls outside, but the vast majority goes up and inside into my dust collector. Okay, so I showed you the 90 degree. I want to show the 45 degree because it's not quite as efficient in a 45 degree cut. So full disclosure here. The reason I think for that is the fact that when you're in a 45 degree, you're basically sitting in front of the one port. So you're using this port over here, which is essentially 90 degrees away from where the dust is getting pushed. So the dust is getting pushed back into here. Your suction is way over here on this side. And so I think it does a good job of evacuating the dust on the left side of the blade in this case, not quite as good on the right side. So I want to show that cut. All right, so here's a solution that I'm pretty pleased with. It's, like I said, a variation on a couple of different videos I saw people post online. First of all, it has an integrated fence, which allowed me a better mounting point. It was really hard to mount something on these sliding fences, the angles that they have, and just didn't really work well for dust collection. So I think I would recommend using an auxiliary fence built into the dust collection. There's plenty of stroke on this blade, so you know, losing a little bit isn't the end of the world for me. So as I set out to design this dust collection, obviously I had to work in the clearance of the blade and the moving parts. You know, the blade does clear this portion here, and this is a part that moves as you pivot the miter. So my vision was to basically have it rest on top of this lip and come up underneath here, you know, with this height. Thought then there's some holes through the fence here in both of these areas that you could put some bolts through. So that's where I would bolt the fence. Same thing on the other side, some bolt holes. There's some holes that go back down into here, but these aren't threaded. I'm not sure what exactly those are for. There is some contour here, and then also you have this little step up over here that you have to account for. But my plan was to just have sort of a curved back to it, and then the front fence. So this is the dust collection. This is upside down. So the fence, this is made up of 4 3/4 inch thick boards laminated together, stacked on top of each other, so it's 3 inches high. This is just a piece of 1/4 inch plywood sitting on top. And I glued all of these boards together, and then I traced out the cuts and cut it in a bandsaw. It did take a long time doing that. In hindsight, I might have been better off cutting them individually and gluing them together, but anyway, that's how I did it. I needed to have a dust port, and since this portion here, you know, if you can envision the board, the shell of the dust collection sitting here, there's really no space, no clearance between this and the pivoting part of the saw. And so if the pivot part was over here, it would interfere with the dust port unless it was on the opposite side. Same thing, if I pivoted to the other side, then there's going to be interference over there, and so I've got to have the dust port over here. So I came up with 2 dust ports. Both of them were made from PVC. I just simply used a hole saw to cut a hole through, put a piece of PVC through the hole. Just used caulk to caulk it in. I ended up having to taper this on my belt sander, taper the end so it would go, slip over some fittings. On the inside, you need to plug one hole, obviously, when it's not in use. So what I came up with was a little piece of pipe with a cap. And unfortunately, these caps are kind of mushroom shaped. They're domed, and ended up having to heat it up with a blowtorch and press it flat. So I glued the cap to a piece of pipe, heated it up with a torch, held this about 2 or 3 inches from the end of the flame until it was hot and soft, and then I just pressed it down onto the top of my table saw so it would flatten it out. And it did flatten it about 1/4 inch, because before that, when I stuck it in here, it would interfere with the blade. So as the blade made its pass, as I adjusted the miter, it would interfere. So was able to shorten that piece up. The other thing that I noticed is even with the blade, this cap, it extends out a little further than I would like. I ended up having to pull the saw blade out a little bit. So I basically pull it about 3/4 inch out, which accounts for the thickness of the fence as well. And by pulling it out, it doesn't cut through this. I didn't want to cut through this, obviously, when I'm making miter cuts. So I basically have 2 ports, 45 degrees, so that if I'm pivoting in one direction, I can attach the dust collection to one side. If I pivot the other way, I flip it over. Okay, now I've set this in place. Originally, I had cut a small opening, about 1.5 inches wide, and that was fine for a 90-degree cut, perpendicular cut here. Unfortunately, as I started to miter, when I mitered it, this blade was right up against one side of the opening, which meant there was no suction on that side of the blade. There was only suction on the opposite side of the blade. So I ended up having to cut out about 3/4 inch on one side, and then swing it over here, cut a 3/4 inch window out of this side. So now when I make my 45-degree cuts, I still have dust collection on both sides of the blade. Unfortunately, what that did is it opened up this hole to about 2 inches now, maybe almost 2.5. And so I don't get quite as good a suction in this area as I did when it was 1.5 inches wide. It does still work really well though, and so I'm pleased with the performance of it. Again, I've got this top sort of extended back as far as I could without interfering with the clearance here as this pivots around. That was really just to catch all that dust that does get pulled up through these slots during a cut, it winds up getting pulled up in here and just drops back down. And so this area here gets a little bit of sawdust on it, but it's easy to just take a shop vac and clean that off as it builds up. The other thing that I ended up doing is I ended up building this little block with just a couple of nails, and there's some holes in the fence. This basically just fits inside here like that. It just is held in place because oftentimes when I take a board and I cut 90 degrees, I end up putting it down here to square the end. So I just shave a tiny bit off just to make a perfect square end on my board. And what I found was that when you're making a plunge cut in the middle of a board, the dust pretty much gets forced straight backwards. When you're when you're just shaving the very end of a board off, it tends to shoot out the side instead of back. And so what was happening was all the dust was shooting sideways. So what this does is it just redirects that dust and allows the airflow to pull it back. And surprisingly, for a simple solution, it worked really well. To secure the fence to the fence of the saw, just drilled some countersunk holes. These are 2.5 inch quarter 20 bolts. They fit through here. They go right into the holes in the fence. It's a very tight fit. I'm guessing the holes in the fence are a metric size, but a 1/4 inch bolt does go through, and then a simple wing nut on the back side holds it all in. Easy to remove. So here you can see it's all put together. The fence is installed. You can see the attachment points. You can see that I've had to mill out a little bit around the fence there just to get it to sit flush. But it does work pretty well, and like I said, I'm pretty pleased with it. There's still a slight amount of dust. I mean, I made quite a few cuts, and you can see a little bit of dust sitting up on top of this. So I still do have some boards propped up in the back just to catch the dust, again, to make it easy to clean.